Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Mole promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
Yes, you've heard it right, guys. We are idiots.
Yeah, we have our days. We have our days.
You know, I would say I wouldn't say we're idiots. I can say we're complete raving lunatics, but that's maybe just my opinion.
Nope, we're just bald and bonkers.
We're definitely bonkers, you know. So, guys in the chat, did any of you get abducted last night? Dots, where are you? Are you there, Dots?
Had a probe filled with tea.
Is that? He's no there. I don't see him. I don't see Dots. Is Dots there?
Dots popped up for like a half a second, but he had a probe full of tea. Maybe it's already been starting to kick people off like it was doing last night. I mean, what the hell was with all that interference? We didn't even get into the good shit.
I don't know. There's some whoever that was, they didn't like you. Because they never kicked me off. I only get kicked off when you come back in.
I never understood that about
Dots.
Live Streamlabs.
There's Dots in the chat there. Dots, so how was your experience? Dakota was telling us last night you got abducted and probed 5 times.
With tea. That's how they baited him.
Aye. He's like, come out here. We are the great terrestrials from the planet Zorn. Come to our ship and get some tea.
Certainly makes the Earl Grey tea take on a new meaning.
You have that question for you. Do you aliens up there with loads of tentacles? Because that would come in handy making tea. Think about it. One would be stirring, one would be putting sugar in at the same time, you know. Dots, control yourself. Don't fantasize here about the tentacles making your tea.
Christopher, I'm wondering about you fantasizing about tentacles the way you bring them up.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm only a human. Well, hopefully I'm human. Look, everybody's fantasized about tentacles. Look, there's 3 people in the chat right now. I mean, I bet you've all fantasized about tentacles. Have you never fantasized about tentacles?
No.
Come on. All the pictures he was putting up. You standing there with your leather jacket on, or you're standing there looking out with your blonde hair in the wind, you know. Because he was putting out mad pictures like that on Facebook, guys. I don't know. But anyway, you never think about tentacles?
No.
What did you think about then?
Other things. And I run a fucking business, you know. Very little, one flash, not a star, no tentacles.
See, obviously, I was hoping that you were getting to meet the. But across it, is there aliens out there with tentacles?
Yes.
What they called?
God, what were they? There's a couple different ones. Fuck. Dude, they don't need...
I've never heard of them before. I've never heard of that race before, the fuck race.
You never fucking know anymore, man.
Look, the amount of hundreds of thousands of races that are out there are mad, you know. Oh, here's Emerald's Paranormal. Good evening. Hello, Jen, Louise. Hello. I mean, you think about all the races that are out there right now watching this transmission. Well, when it eventually reaches them. But it's not really like radio anymore. So it doesn't really go into space anymore, does it?
It's still radio.
It's still radio, right? So in millions of years from now, a galactic civilization will come across this tape and say, my God, the one with the purple lights in the background's handsome, but the other one looks a bit strange. But then again, I don't know. Just ignore me tonight, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to press in a donation to the super chat so that way we can fund Chris's therapy, as we will be committing him into an insane asylum for the holidays. He has clearly gone delusional.
If you would like to donate to the channel, there is a little square box down the bottom where you can donate $1. Hopefully, in 15 to 20 years' time, we'll have got enough money together. We can get my Dakota here a $10 wig, you know, a nice blonde one. You know, you can sit there and you can play it on the show, you know. Just ignore me, guys. What's that in the chat? Hey, Jen, Dots.
Everybody's just saying hi to each other, you know, like a bunch of little jerks.
It's like the Waltons. You ever watched the Waltons? They all say goodnight to each other. No. Well, don't tell me you've never watched the Waltons. You've never watched the Waltons. The Waltons. Okay, I'm sad. I know the theme tune to the Waltons.
Very, very sad individual.
Marianne, John Boy. You know? Did you have anything weird that happened to you last night? Any strange thing in the darkness run about you? Yeah, you just have strange things run about you at night.
Yeah, no. That's why I have cameras in the bedroom. Not for anything kinky. Trust me. There's been some disappointment.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's all coming out now. He's got cameras in the bedroom.
I'm not joking.
I believe you. I believe. Good. There you go. There's Dots. Kids, see, Dots is a civilized man. He's seen. Oh, there's a camera. So Dots is a civilized man. He has, you know, seen the Waltons, and so has
you gotta remember, there's
Melissa.
Still, yeah.
And don't say about your age. Don't say it's the age.
I was about to say, damn near everybody in the audience is almost old enough to be my parents.
Oh, there's my brother Drew in Little House on the Prairie. And see, this is when doing an avenue now. This is when doing an avenue. Little House on the Prairie. That was a great show. When Charles on a Sunday night to cheer the family out, he gets fiddle out. He start playing his fiddle and everybody be dancing about, you know. But you never watched Little House on the Prairie?
No.
Mr. Edwards?
No.
Wow. It's these old shows. This is what you're missing. And the Galactic Federation that's watching us right now, this is what you're missing. You want to learn about human culture. You want to watch Little House on the Prairie. Except for Nellie. She was a pain in the arse. I didn't like Nellie.
Something you and her have in common, apparently.
Yes. But I'm amazed. That's terrible, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? This man here has never watched Little House on the Prairie. You know? What's that in the chat? Dakota, you're right. My youngest is your age. He has never watched any shows either.
Yeah, I remember you were saying something about that, Melissa. But yeah.
Remember, oh no, this is too. I shouldn't say remember you because you'll not be able to remember this, but people in the chat were talking about aliens. Battlestar Galactica. You came, I'm talking about, didn't you? They made quite a few new ones after it. They actually made an episode where the humans, where they found Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And they were that advanced. I don't know, have you seen the episode I'm talking about? They were that advanced. They didn't want to scare the population. So what they did is they invented these flying saucers. And this is going back, obviously they found Earth, and this is the 1970s, right? And we're driving about in the combustion engines and stuff, and they found Earth, and they've taken their ships and they hid them behind the moon and built like moon bases on the moon. It's quite interesting, this actually, because if you look at the way everything's gone now, it's kind of similar. They're like a fleet of ships that's came to the Earth, and they're highly advanced, but they know if they land on the Earth, they could cause wars and stuff like that. So they build these like flying saucers, and they start coming to Earth, and they start slowly helping the human civilization, like giving wee bits of technology here and wee bits of technology there. You see where I'm going with this? Because that is basically what the Federation's doing, isn't it? That is what they're doing. They're obviously on the moon again. They're putting feelers out, because let's face it, I know we're not alone anymore, but if a big UFO fleet did appear, it would cause a lot of problems.
You're not wrong there.
What happened to Elon's spaceship? Right, did you watch that, Dakota? About Elon's spaceship.
About which
launch? The one that launched yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
Did you see what happened? Look, I'm going to say this again. The Earth is flat. We don't have a dome over the top of us, right? See if I hear that one, we're up in time. Everybody's saying that it hit the firmament. It exploded. That's what happens. He's mad. He's a trillionaire mad idiot that's building these giant ships. Do you know what I mean? I must admit, it was impressive.
You got to also take into consideration there was one particular launch where you slow down the video just right. Something flew past it just before it blew up.
So why would you want to blow it up?
Very good question.
See, what's that? He's not a trillionaire. Well, he's maybe not a trillionaire, but he's a billionaire. He's got loads of money to waste on this kind of stuff. I mean, why would you want to blow it up? I thought the Federation, or whoever they are, want us to go into space to try and explore it.
You do also have to realize it's not just
government?
the Federation flying around.
Yeah, it's the governments that don't want us to find out what's really up there.
And Elon has been taking money from them, but not necessarily following suit with some of their demands.
See, I find that interesting because India put a rover on the moon. And I'm going to say this to you. See that simulation you see landing on the moon, guys? It's a simulation. It's a cartoon, right? That's no really the moon lander landing, right? But see the amount of folk that think that's real. Have you seen that? The amount of folk that think that's real?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's about as bad as all these LGBTQ plus trying to give praise to Osama bin Laden lately.
I said, jumping onto that subject really quickly, I seen a march in London. It was on TikTok, and it was that I can't pronounce it, the LBGT or whatever they're called, and it was all the transvestites walking together, and they had a flag saying, "We support
Hamas."
Yeah. Do they realize what would happen to them?
They're so fucking desperate for numbers and influence that they're trying to incorporate other minority groups to where they have specialized flags, to where they bring in the pedophiles and the Black Lives Matters movement. It's like, you idiots do realize what Osama, what Hamas, Al-Qaeda, ISIS would do to you.
Aye. I count it says in the Quran, can chuck you off a building, whatever. That is what. Look, the world's fucked up. The world is fucked up. What's happening in the West Bank? Both sides should stop fighting. Both sides should stop fighting and try and bring a thing about this. But it's not going to happen. They're going to keep killing them, and they're going to keep killing the others. It's just going to keep fighting and fighting. There's no delay.
Did you hear actually what the latest little tidbit that's been going around?
Is it the new canal that they're want to put in, or is it the oil reserves underneath the West Bank? Or is it a new one now? What is it?
The choppers that were part of the original assault on that musical festival, those were Israeli choppers.
I've heard that. I've heard a lot of tales that it was fully set up. It was an inside job, as one would say.
There's a lot starting to come out about it, that attack was allowed to happen.
It's quite interesting you say that, because I was watching, I'm not saying where I was watching it, but I was watching a thing on it. I think it was Bit2 or something like that. It was one of these freedom of speech places, right, where you can basically say what you want. And they had this ex-Israeli, he was a ops officer. He used to be in charge of keeping the country safe.
Yeah.
And he's like, he says, listen, he says, That's no the terrorists that's done that. That's us that's done that. They let that happen. Those posts were about they were evacuated an hour before that happened, and the radar was turned off and everything. That should never have happened. I think there's something going on. I really do. And I'm going to say this now. I think Hamas is in it. And that's the honest truth. I think both sides are in it. The same as Russia and Ukraine. I think both sides are in it.
The United States has been funding Iran. Iran utilizes Hamas as its own mercenary group. Same as the United States sending funds to Israel.
Look, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think it is, right? I think America wants to go to war with Iran, right? What's going to happen if Iran doesn't exist anymore? And the same with Syria. Syria and Iran, what happens if they don't exist anymore? They basically go the Middle East, right? You've got control of the Middle East. Iran's stopping them, right? I can guarantee you all these ships, all the American ships and the British ships too, that are headed to the Middle East now are only going there for one thing, and it's not to protect Israel. It's to invade Iran. And they'll bomb the fuck out of them. They will. But Iran will fight back. And it's going to cause a lot of problems. Nothing is the truth. Just remember that.
Exactly. The more noise they kick up, the more they can shuffle underground.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be too focused on the gunfire to realize that something else is going on.
Well, Ukraine's lost the war. It's now coming out that Ukraine are begging the Russians to come to the peace talk tables now, because that's that. America's not giving them any more money. Did you see the video that what's his name? The Ukrainian president brought out. He's begging for money. He says, "Give me it in tack," and he was like, "You can give me it basically in tack, or you can give me the money. Oh, we'll pay it back. We'll pay it back." You have no idea how much money that man has kept for himself.
You have to realize, much like, and this is all verified information, before any of the platforms that we stream out on start trying to say we're hitting misinformation again. Let's jump back in time a bit. Al-Qaeda was trained by the United States. Yes. Osama bin Laden was trained by the United States in an effort to fight against the Russians.
1980s.
That operation blew up, and look what happened. Now, granted, historically speaking, Muslim-controlled empires have been fucking around with the United States when it was barely the United States. Picking people off as slaves when we don't even know we hadn't even had a chance to start a fight with anybody, historically speaking. But, nevertheless, within 20 years, if something doesn't kick up to stop it, Zelensky needs to realize that he will be made enemy number one.
Yeah. The CIA,
I fully expect this to happen. They will turn on him. They will paint him as an enemy of the state. It'll happen. Russia's been trying to shut this down for a while.
America and the UK, because let's face it, the UK is the Americans' lapdog. The Prime Minister does exactly what the Americans say, I would say. Have offered. Russia came to them multiple times to say, listen, I'm willing to stop. This is Vladimir Putin, by the way. I'm willing to stop. Let's just call it quits. Let's just go home. I'm keeping that bit that I've took. Let's keep it at that. But no. The battle's not going anywhere. They're invading, then they're getting shoved back. Then they're invading, then they're getting shoved back. I can't go on forever. Was it 600,000 Ukraine's lost now? 600,000 troops. Let that sink in there, guys. The average person in the battlefield now in Ukraine's in the age of 40 or 50 because all the young people are dead. And they're trying to bring back all the other people. This is what's going to happen. Again, this is serious here, by the way, guys. This is what's going to happen with the Middle East. Because
that's what they're trying.
Believe me, you have no idea the shitstorm that's about to break out. Iran is no going, and I don't support Iran in any shape, way, or form, but Iran's not going to be a pushover like Iraq was. Right? There'll be thousands of casualties. Do you think Russia's going to stand by and allow them to be invaded?
No, they're not.
No, it's not going to happen. They're pals. They're best pals. They're chummy. Who do you think buys all their oil and weapons off them? They do.
Exactly.
And it's vice versa. And then we've got the Red Dragon. We've got the Chinese, right? Got the Chinese. They're all pally-wally with Russia, one of their best pals. They cover each other's backs. They protect each other, right? This is going to explode. And I'm telling you, I'll tell you something. That you think Iraq and Afghanistan was bad. This is going to be major. This is going to be really bad. I bet you one of your carriers gets sunk or something terrible happens to any of them in the first days of the war.
Without a doubt. But here's the thing. That's the part you got to wonder. They want conflict to happen.
Of course they do.
They believe that they can paint it to where they're always the good guys. I'm going to have to quote Trump on this in a recent press interview where he was asked, are you pro-Russia? Are you pro-Ukraine? He said, I'm pro against people dying.
Yep, exactly.
I'm pro people not dying. This entire ordeal, unfortunately, it brings out a lot of unsolicited, unvoiced opinions that the people usually feel like they can keep to themselves. It breeds prejudice. It breeds divide. It needs to stop. And second of all, media agencies need to stop masturbating themselves with corpses. I said it.
Yeah, I'm going to say this the new. Remember when the jab, when the virus was going about, and remember what the media did. You remember what they did? They're like, oh, these are all the bodies, and the camera pans into all the body bags, and one of them gets up and walks away. One of them pulls the zip up. They're all fake. Don't believe anything the media tells you. The media is shit. In fact, don't believe anything you see unless you see with your own eyes. Research it.
Even then, human perception is one of the easiest things to fool.
What's that in the chat there about the old nuclear whistles?
Val Thor, his name wasn't actually Valiant. All nuclear missiles were disabled years ago by ETs. The only ones are on submarines, which are neutralized when fired. It's all fear mongering.
Well, that is a wee bit. It's true that some of the nuclear weapons, but let's face it, if the CIA or the government can stop folk for remote viewing Area 51, I'm sure there'll be a way of putting.
There's patents.
I'm sure there'll be a way putting a shield on a tactical nuclear weapon. I can tell you something right now. You can still detonate a nuclear weapon. I don't care what you say. There's ways. If they can stop you for remote viewing Area 51, they can stop them. They might not be able to do all the missiles, but they can maybe do it to Yan. And I bet they've developed it. I bet the US government have got a counter plan to take. I bet they've got a plan of some kind.
For fuck's sake, they got plans in the event of a Godzilla attack.
I know. And a zombie apocalypse.
Exactly.
Aye. I bet you, even when they've been working with the, what do you call them? The Federation, right? They've been thinking of ways, well, how can we kill these guys? How can we get rid of their technology? while they're, oh, hello, yes, become our friends. We will have some technology for you. While they were working with them, they were plotting against them. That's the US government. And
There's
believe me, they've done it.
They do that with just about everybody they work with.
Of course they did. They've probably done it with us and all, in the UK.
Oh, duh. They do it with just about everybody. They find ways to manipulate the situation in their favor. Several intelligence officers have come out and said it. It's not always like something you would see out of the movies. That's the only 1% of scenarios that's sexy for Hollywood. No, there's other ways to manipulate people without having to do jack.
I find it interesting how your signal's starting to drop and break up.
Yeah, because I've actually been because I've been talking with intelligence officers about this, trying to get them on the show. Because I think that would be a fucking interesting show.
You've got to remember this too. The Israelis are dodgy, right? Because they were behind certain incidents in the United States. Let's face it, and you know what I'm talking about. Big, massive buildings. You know what I'm talking about. They had something to do with that because there's evidence there that points towards it. I mean? They don't care. And there's another subject I want to bring up shortly, by the way. It's nothing to do with aliens, but I want to bring it up anyway. They don't care about you. They only care about their own people, right? They only care about their own people. They don't care about you. You ever seen the videos with the Jewish people in Jerusalem walking along, and then you get the Christians that will be doing the carrying the cross. You see what they do? They spit. They spit at nuns. Look it up, guys. It's actual fact. Jews don't like Christians. It's well known because they think they're higher up. Even though thousands and millions and millions of troops died for them in World War II. You know what I mean? Brain them. They don't care about you and me. They only care about themselves. But there is some of them that are nice, aye. There is some of them that are nice out there, but there's ones out there that are evil, downright evil. You've got to remember this world is run by evil people. And it's only a handful of people. I'll probably disappear now after saying that. You'll be able to get a new co-host.
Well, you got to be careful with your warning there because, unfortunately, there's also an aspect of all this where the wrong people are getting shot at.
Of course they are.
For
everything is an illusion.
With everything going on, there's several people that are getting attacked because of their physical appearances that happen to match what was started by Nazi propaganda.
Yeah.
Against the Jewish people.
Yes.
It shouldn't matter what the fuck someone's religion is. For God's sakes, the figure we know as Yeshua. Christians, crashing on Jews, and yet the figure that they claim to idolize was a Jewish himself.
Yeah.
These cherry picking just to find excuses to kibosh on each other. One thing Chris got right is that the world is run by corrupt people because the corrupt people are the ones smart enough and cocky enough to take advantage of it. While everybody else just wants to bitch and moan.
Exactly.
And something you could probably agree with, Chris.
What's that?
Considering some of the personal conversations you showed me about things going on. You find it awful funny that certain ones that go to attack on you can't even come up with their own original insults.
I know.
They're copying what they've heard other people say.
I know. I know. Look, I feel sorry for the trolls out there. I do. I mean, on my other channel, Ghost God Scotland, I've got my couple of trolls that annoy me. But little do they know that I've got ways of finding out who they are.
Oh, for fuck's sake. All you had to do was look at the way they wrote their messages.
I know. But look, I pity them. Can't I mean? I pity them because I mean, you know, one of them was pissed off because my subscribers count went up, right?
Yeah.
But I had a couple of channels that shouted me out, that shared my link. That's what happens. You get subscribers when people share you out.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, look how quickly a lot of our stuff blew up when we had Elena pop on.
Yeah.
I mean, we 24 hours before even the show would start, we had at least 40 waiting.
It's I know it's madness, and I honestly, there's some people out there that actually I admire, and it's madness. What's that? Emerald Isles Paranormal jealousy is a horrible thing. Bless them. Exactly. I'm if they think by putting out the messages and sending messages and stuff like that on Facebook and stuff like that's got to stop me. It's actually going to make me do more videos and go more places, because I could go to town on them and give their address and give their name and everything, but I'm not going to do that because I'm no pitiful.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't online harassment and sending threats like they were?
Oh, it has already, because I've already reported them.
No, I was about to say, no, just correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that the U.S. should probably step up on, but if they did that, their prisons would be even more overrun. But sending death threats and harassments across the internet is actually punishable by 2 years prison time over in the UK.
In the UK, it really is, because I was speaking to somebody the other day about this exact thing. It's weird you should mention this, actually, because somebody sent me a message on Facebook. So I taken that message and then I gave it to somebody, and somebody came back to me with their name and address and the exact location that they live in. Amazing how technology works, isn't it? And then I reported it to somebody with a black uniform on and a white thing underneath. And they said that if it happens again, if they send them it, and they'll take action on it. So there we go.
I'm just saying. I mean, we've had people try to hit us up on Bottom Bonkers. You got to realize. Yes, there's a lot of hate against, you know, the 3-letter agencies as they get called, but I do keep close ties with several of those agencies.
I like what Dot says. Exactly, because the thought by doing it on Facebook, by changing their name would, I mean, you've got a thing called an IP address, which is quite handy, and it goes to like a mobile phone, for instance.
Yeah.
But then if you track that mobile phone, you can actually track the GPS of that mobile phone, right? And you can actually tell where they sent that message from. It's amazing. This guy, Ken's everything. I don't know how he does it. And all I need to do is give them the name of that person, and that sent that message, and he came back to me with a list. He gave me a list. He gave me the computer address, the IP address, the location of where it was sent for, the time it was sent for. I shit you not. I was like, and
here's
the
thing,
person's
though.
name that pays the bill.
Here's the thing,
amazing,
though.
Isn't it?
You remember a while back I freaked everybody out when I said a VPN doesn't actually protect you?
No, it doesn't.
No, it only slows down the tracking process. Because
I bet some folks are
anything.
That.
No, they won't, and they won't even know how to look for that type of thing. They're just going to be so consumed by everything that's going on in their own personal whatever's going on in their life to make them so miserable.
Well,
that they're going to be easily manipulated.
Well, you know, I've decided
to tie this back into what we were talking about.
If they do, all I'm going to say is, if they do it again, there'll be 2 parties involved. 1, all the details, everything about them will be posted somewhere, and 2, an agency will be out to visit them.
I was about to say, no, the only reason I asked that, because there was this one guy who was getting death threats, said that he and his fiance were about to catch a flight out to go somewhere. He was getting death threats because he was speaking against Palestine. Well, this young man, this young man sending the threats, he used his real name, didn't try to cover his tracks any, and he was from Scotland.
Yeah.
So within 5 minutes, he found the kid's work, his university, his parents, his grandparents, his brothers and sisters, his work, and sent them everything.
Yep.
Anybody who actually knows what they're talking about can trace this. And as far as when it comes to the more conspiracy side of things, if people actually bothered to look as much as they bitch about shit online, you would be amazed at the things you find. Like CE5, something a point I wanted to get to yesterday, but I realized we kind of flew past it. A lot of people get bothered by Dr. Gur's comment that Earth is the only planet with assholes. That's not what he says, but that's essentially what he means. In one of his documentaries, I think it's the main CE5 one, he explains that the reason why he preaches that line is because he's trying to get people to focus on that potential image. That if you go to conduct CE5 experiments with the thought that there's no bad ETs out there that would receive the message, you're not going to have to worry. It's like if you actually sit back and look, you can find proof of just about everything we're saying. From Hamas to ETs to all of it. It's all interconnected if you look deep enough. And anybody with a pretty much a basic understanding of how computers and the internet works can do it.
Yeah. What's that, Joe, in the chat there? You need more views. You are touching a lot of nerves that the cabal doesn't. I don't give a fuck what the cabal likes or what they don't like. They've not got long before they're all screwed.
That's why we also stream out to like 60 plus locations.
I've actually what's that new place? What's that place we stream it to? And it's free speech. That we also speak. What's its name?
We have actually there's Rumble? Two. Yeah, I have it set up where we do have a Rumble page that automatically backs up all of our videos. We're also on BitChute.
That's true. I'm going to be setting them up too.
It's like I really feel like I should be careful saying that BitChute. Because if you're not careful, it may get slapped. But yeah, we have all of our videos automatically backed up. It's honestly something that some of our guests should probably look into doing on those, as well as we're on Audible, iTunes, all of that. The only time we've ever gotten a hit is on the main company YouTube.
Yeah. People have been asking me too about my, what do you call it? What's that thing that I was talking to you the night? Patreon. See, my brain's melted, guys. Patreon. I'm going to be doing a thing with Dakota soon. And when I get the link, I'll start sharing it with Visa. So, yeah. So we'll start doing that. I don't care what the cabal think. I honestly don't care. I really don't. I'm actually going to be putting Ghost God Scotland on, what do you call it, onto BitChute and all that kind of other kind of stuff, too. And upload normal videos. And upload normal videos, too, because then it gives me more subscribers for them, too. I mean,
plus if you do it right, that optimizes your search engine results to where you pop out even more.
Yeah. But as I was going to say, as a subject that I seen in TikTok, and I didn't think it was true until I googled it, and then I had a wee look about in other places. Have you heard about the human teeth found in McDonald's food?
You brought this up a couple months back, but allegedly, yes.
Well, seemingly somebody found teeth again, and there'd be bits of filling in them. How does that get into a food processing plant?
Well, if you follow the conspiracy that I believe you're going to tilt here in the next couple minutes, is that the meat production from McDonald's doesn't exactly match up the numbers with the number of cows that get slaughtered.
Yeah, well, an average in the United States is 67,000 cows a day slaughtered, which doesn't ring true. There's no enough for that.
That's why McDonald's also integrates soy meat.
Yeah. So, but how does human teeth end up in somebody's McWhopper?
Yeah, that's where
that's the question.
The conspiracy you were going right up to is that some people have started to wonder if how else should I put this? That the meat doesn't also contain traces of long pig.
And what's that? Do tell.
It's another name for human.
Yeah.
Because
I actually found
when
this
human
quite
flesh is cooked, it actually kind of smells like pork.
Yeah, because I was right. Listen, I actually contacted the guy that was doing the video on it, and he got back to me because I told him about showing that. He's maybe watching the night, I don't know. And he's like, he gave me like links, and I went online and I looked it up, and it's right enough. I mean, how does human teeth find their way in? And this is not the first time it's happened. It's happened loads of times. And it's also, how does that happen? It's exactly though, it's Soylent Green. How does that happen? Because I could understand maybe the guy had a loose tooth and it fell out when he was over the plant making the meat and stuff like that, right? But there's been molars found with bits of mercury in them. I mean, that's like taking a human body and then like put it into a mincing machine, basically. And somebody says, "Oh, maybe somebody fell into the plant when
It
they were
happens.
making the meat." Right? I'll give you that. Maybe, and they didn't report it, right? But this has happened in Australia. It's happened in South Korea. It's happened in New Zealand. It's happened in the United States. It's happened in Canada. And it's now happened in the UK. It must have been some size of body.
They hire a lot of clumsy ass fucking people.
Yeah, I mean, have you heard the conspiracy? And it's actually talking about that Sound of Freedom, how that comes into it.
That the Sound of Freedom wasn't actually advocating against human trafficking; it was trying to promote it.
No.
Okay, what's the one you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the one that I've heard. Right, you have to do your own research on this. That when they take the bodies of the children, right? Just think about this. They take the organs out that they need to use and stuff like that. Obviously left with. Yeah. What do they do with the corpse that's left? Because there was actually a detective talking about this, an ex-detective talking about this, and he was actually his friend was one of the, what do you call them? They're like CEI kind of guys, kind of good. If they find a murder scene, they're experts at it. And he used to work at the body farm. You know what I'm talking about in the United States? It's a body farm where the FBI go, guys. They leave bodies lying in weird positions. And then the FBI go out and they train to see how long the bodies lay in the grass and all that. That's what they do.
Yeah, it's down in Texas.
Aye, you can donate anybody. Well, this guy, right? This is what this guy did when he was an FBI, right? This is what he did. He was a murder guy. And he says... He says it's very difficult to get rid of a body. Very difficult. You can dump them into water, but eventually they do float up. Eventually they are found. Just look at the Hoover Dam, how some of them's been found there, and that was the mafia. They dumped them. Eventually they were found, right? Mm-hmm. You look, animals will dig up the corpses, right? Right. Mm-hmm. What happens if they're taking what's left of those poor people? A meat processing plant.
There's rumors of that happening with certain organized crime groups, actually.
Yeah. So what happens if that's what they're doing with the body parts?
Oh, I can go into some of the horror stories. I can tell you some horror stories.
We've got about 20 minutes. You should go tell us one.
It depends on what market the ones dealing with the bodies go into. There's been some cases where the bodies are essentially prepped, turned into dolls, for lack of a better word, for personal pleasure.
I've heard about that.
There's been spots where they've found these remains and they realized that those dolls are looking a little too realistic.
Yep.
Because there are certain compounds that can actually turn human skin into a plastic-like substance.
I've heard about that, yeah.
Mm. And shit that if anybody has the knowledge of it, they can make it themselves at home.
Yeah. It's disgusting. I mean, what I've seen, the certain guy in question, and he's ex FBI, he dealt with major murder inquiries and stuff on that, and he found evidence that the government know about this and are working with these people, and it has got ties to the Sound of Freedom and stuff like that.
Well, it should be taken into consideration. Tim Ballard, the man himself, did a speech in Washington where he called out President Biden directly, asking why doesn't this administration do more to help these trafficked children, whether they're coming across the border, whether it's in our own country.
Yeah.
Why isn't this administration doing more? Within 3 days of this speech, all the major media was trying to say that he had sexual harassment allegations against him.
Yeah.
Yet none of these women came forward directly. There's no reports on it whatsoever. There's actually several jurisdictions that have tried to charge people with accessory to crime when there was no crime in the first place that has already been processed. You can't be charged as an accessory if the crime hasn't already been processed and been proven to have actually transpired. And here's the thing, it happens in the music industry too.
Oh.
No, I'll say this. No, let's use a pop culture reference. All right, you know who Dave Chappelle is, right?
Yes.
All right, comedian, funny guy. Gets a little raunchy, but you do know there's several people that have actually come forward saying that when Dave Chappelle started turning down certain offers because he felt like he wasn't being fairly treated, the producers simply looked at him and said, by the time you get off your plane and go home, you will be considered a major creep by the public. Yeah, that's right. Literally, as he was in the air, the media was starting to tear him apart.
Yeah, because they control them. They can do anything they want. This is the problem. Subject that you've just actually made me remember about, and I don't know if any of you know about this. I'm going to mention that. Now, obviously, I know you're a man that watches it. It's my copper wire. Everybody wonders what it is. But anyway, a subject you just remembered me. I'm going to mention the place. San Francisco. What's news on the San Francisco? You know what I'm talking about, didn't you? You know what I'm going to talk about.
Which part? The confirmed testing by the U.S. Army on biological warfare that happened, I believe, back in the 70s.
No, I'm talking about
fentanyl problem this week. What happened this week?
What fentanyl problem?
The fentanyl zombies.
What zombies? Every single homeless person in what you call it, San Francisco, disappeared in 2 nights. Every single one. There's not one TikTok video on it. There's no footage of them disappearing. There's people had family that were homeless. They went to check on them. Everything was gone. There was a tent city. They reckon there was over 600, 700 homeless people. Gone. All the homeless people are gone. Everybody's gone.
Been trying to make motions in order to get rid of the homeless population.
There was a big visit.
No. What I'm saying is San Francisco's been talking years about trying to figure out how to get rid of their homeless population.
Yeah. Well, there was a visit for, I think it was the president of China, right?
Mr. Xi.
Before he visited, this guy was talking about it. He used to take a drive around about all the fentanyl areas, right? And there was hundreds of them, like zombies, starting about everywhere. He went out the next night and gone. All of them. Look it up. They're all gone. They don't know where. They said there was hundreds of white vans turned up and people just disappeared. There's not one video on TikTok about it. There's videos now saying, where has all the people disappeared to? but there's no videos of these people that disappeared that existed. There's no evidence that they existed, except for their family saying, "Oh, but they were here." They're all gone.
The homeless and prostitutes are some of the first victims of serial killers on the grounds that they would
Serial
not
killers.
likely be missed. No, I'm saying that these are real statistics. The homeless and prostitutes are some of the first victims of serial killers because they're the people least likely to have someone else out there looking for them if they turn up missing.
But what I'm getting at is thousands of homeless people in San Francisco within one night just disappeared.
And as what I'm getting at is that it wouldn't have taken much.
Yeah. So where did they go? Where are they?
That's a very good question.
If anybody can help in the chat, if anybody's watching this, please Google it, because I Googled it last night and the guy's stoating about. He's like, I couldn't walk down here at night and now there's nothing. It's gone. Everybody's gone. They said they'd seen white vans, hundreds of white vans turned up, and then there was crews come in and took away all the tents. So where'd they go? Have they maybe moved them on somewhere, dropped them off at the train station, gave them money, and said bugger off, kind of thing?
You know, they're not going to be that.
Or have they put them in an internment camp somewhere?
Possibly.
Because let's face it, FEMA have got camps that are getting built all over the world for some strange thing.
Mm-hmm. There's one couple not too far from me, actually.
Exactly.
Certainly makes you wonder.
I think that would be an interesting show. I'm going to see if I can contact the guy that was talking about this and see if I'll come on the show and talk about this to see what happened to the people, because something's happened to them.
Something's happened, all right.
You know. So you've got a show this week, haven't you?
Yep.
What you talking about this week?
Another episode of Franson Files.
What's it this week?
Well, it's the time. Yes, I went for a bit of a Doctor Who reference on this one, but you know the story, so it fits perfectly. We're calling it The Timeless Child.
You got a sonic screwdriver?
Honestly, out of all this alien shit that's been going on, I am shocked the TARDIS hasn't showed up.
The UFO field's quite quiet there. Do you know the UFO field's awfully quiet there? There's not been that many big sightings. There is a lot of sightings, but 99% of them are fake CGI shit.
You got to take into consideration, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere, it is getting to be winter. You know, Thanksgiving's just next week here in the States.
Oh, that's right. You have your turkeys.
You got the turkeys.
Gobble, gobble.
You know, and I don't know if next couple weeks I'll be available because between Thanksgiving and sometime on December 5th is her due date. I do have a little niece that is going to be coming into the world.
Oh, I don't think yes. The tip and tatter of tiny little feet running around you. Bet you can't wait.
I can't wait because I know because of her parents that child is likely going to be blind and running into shit all the time, just like her mother.
There's something in the chat that's quite interesting. I'll bring it up. Let me do it.
All right.
Quick. Have you seen Rabbi? What's that?
Rabbi Finkelstein's interview where he, in your face, told it on national radio what they do with your sacrifices, McDonald's, Big Mac, etc., even in cement like the Roman Empire did. Well, you have to take into consideration the Hoover Dam is actually built with bodies that fell in and they couldn't retrieve.
No, it's not. Actually,
there's bodies in the wall.
No, no. Honestly, by the way, I actually watched a documentary about this, right? And there's no proven fact that there is bodies in the wall of the Hoover Dam. There might be myths of people falling in, but there's no actually proven evidence of people in the walls.
Actually, you just brought up a very interesting point. You kind of went on your little tirade yesterday, and I understand you got some personal things going on that likely influenced it. But here's the thing we got to consider when it comes to a lot of this. Okay? And I think it's something that a lot of people should take to heart. Just because evidence of something doesn't exist does not mean that that thing doesn't exist.
Very true.
Because when you take into consideration, like we say all the time, we have points of each other's stories that we're skeptical of with good reason. They're fucking out there. But
you've actually got me worried because you've got kids out there.
Yeah, there's probably some updates on that front, but I'm very careful about.
Oh, don't tell me you've got another wife.
No, there's. Let's just say some of the theories getting tossed around by time travel may have been a little bit more accurate than I anticipated. But
so you're actually your father.
That would be interesting. That would be one hell of a Back to the Future.
That would be. I mean, that'd be weird, that, wouldn't it? Think of the free presents like Father's Day.
But no, we got to take into consideration, even if you don't necessarily believe, even if somebody does not have evidence directly on hand to back their story, that does not always eradicate that the story didn't happen. It's just sometimes it's just hard to go.
I found it. Actually, for years, I presumed that the Hoover Dam had bodies in it, because that's obviously the myth that everybody would talk about it and stuff like that. There isn't any factual facts, but something. It's like the guy at the Hoover Dam that does the tours that my friend of mine went and got the tour. He says they say there's no bodies in here, but there could be bodies in here. You don't know. You got to remember in the days when you got a job in national insurance, you didn't pay things. There wasn't a record of who worked there. I mean, somebody could have been working at 2 o'clock in the morning. They could have tripped and fell into cement, and nobody would have cared. Somebody could have murdered somebody and threw them into the cement.
Exactly.
Do you know there's parts of that dam still happening? It's still liquid cement.
Yeah.
That's an amazing dam. I'd like to see it.
You also got to take into consideration, if there's no bodies there, how come there's reports of spirits?
See, I found that interesting. There's actually a camp that was used by the men that built the dam, and it's not really there anymore. It doesn't really exist. And there's a hospital which is not really used as a hospital anymore. It's just an empty building, and it's one of the most haunted buildings in Arizona. But it's no saying that there was a lot of men killed there. There was lots of men killed there. There's loads of men fell to their deaths. I mean, there was the people that jumped for the what do you call it, the cliffs, put the dynamite in, that dropped to their deaths. But look at the bodies that have been found with the water going down. Have you seen that? The barrels that have been found, and inside the barrels it's bodies, and that's the mafia that's put them there. You know, how far are you away from across at the Hoover Dam?
Actually, let's look it up real quick. Distance to Hoover Dam. It's about a little over an 8-hour drive from me.
I'll tell you where's nice, and I've been watching it on the live cams lately. I don't know how close it is to you. Is it the Teton Range it's called? You know what I'm talking about? The mountain range, the Teton. How far is that for you? That's not that far for you, is it? Because that's beautiful. You should look at that up, guys. Look up the Teton Range tonight. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Teton Range. That's actually where I live, dude. That's part of it.
Is it? I didn't ken that.
That's like a 30-minute drive from me.
It's absolutely stunning. There's a live camera. It's snowing now. It's actually really, really stunning.
Yeah, no, don't
I tell you
fucking
what,
remind
everybody,
me.
for our 1 million subscriber, me and Dakota will go bungee jumping at the Hoover Dam. The bridge, no, the dam itself. Dakota's going to go first, ladies and gentlemen, and then I'll go after that.
You do realize that I'm too big for the bungee cords.
We'll get 2 either leg. I'll do it then.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if we get to 1 million subscribers, I'll go bungee jumping.
I would like to see you do that. Actually follow through and do something
I tell you
dangerous.
what, I promise.
You'll be
right
yanked
now,
so hard you'll have hair pop out of your head.
I promise here right now, when we get to 1 million subscribers, I will come to the United States and I will go bungee jumping.
And have the bungee cord snap on you and smack you in the ass, making you yell out like Wile E. Coyote on the way down.
But because it's a 1 million special, I'm allowed to pick one of your lucky subscribers to go before me in the chat. Lawrence, Maggie, who could I pick?
Jenny, run. Jenny, run.
Jenny, do you want to come and go bungee jumping?
Jenny, run. Break up with him now.
Joking, I'm joking. You'll get a fright if you wake up in the morning. You're sitting at 999,900. I know as much as a shock as I'll get, but sitting like that.
Well, I've been concerned because the last few days we've been sitting at 2,666 subscribers.
Have we? We're nearly at 3,000 subscribers. Wow.
I was more concerned about the 666.
I've got a couple of other accounts there. I'll maybe subscribe, get it past that kind of threshold.
Why haven't I been subscribed yet?
What do you mean?
You're one of the fucking hosts. You're supposed to help fudge the numbers. I'm just kidding.
I have subscribed to all the channels, every one of them.
Are you sure?
Come on, guys, subscribe to everybody's channel. There you go. There's me in the chat there. Look, I put a smiley face. You know, it's not working. The smiley face isn't working. What's going on here? Look, there's a giant
YouTube
tooth.
being YouTube.
Look, guys, I've posted a giant tooth in memory. Would you call it McDonald's in the chat? You know,
It'd be funny if we actually got an email from McDonald's after this show.
Well, if you're wanting to give Dakota unlimited burgers, I don't want it. After seeing the videos, would you can something? Give me as many emails as you want. It's got freedom of speech, mind you, which we'll not probably have for much longer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, not if the cabal has anything to do about it.
Yeah. But it's, yeah, everybody subscribe to everybody, you know? But honestly, when we get to 1 million subscribers, I will do a bungee jump for you guys. But
and I will come on a show dressed in a bikini.
No, you ever seen the things? What do you call it? Is it the mankinis you get? You must wear a mankini and walk up and down New York Broadway while we film.
Yeah, we're gonna meet Naked Cowboy.
What's that? Is that something you're into? Is that like a?
You never heard of Naked Cowboy?
No. What's that like?
A dude who's literally in nothing but a Speedo and a cowboy hat playing guitar.
Oh, is that him that's in some films? You see him in films and stuff like that? You see him in like an extra in films?
He's a real dude.
Right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You can see Dakota at 1 million subscribers. God. I've just put something, a vision into somebody's head.
Yeah.
They're going to wake up through the night and they're going to be like screaming.
We apologize for Dots.
Can't unthink that. Thanks. Dots, for 1 million subscribers, you could do it way, Dakota. I'll do the bungee jumping, but I'll do the extreme.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't know about us back in our early days, Dots, when I ended up doing a striptease on camera.
Did you?
You remember?
No. Was that the one with Mike the Naked Bigfoot? Was that the one with Mike the Naked Bigfoot and he stood up?
No, that was before we met Mike.
Oh. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Your experience.
Actually, if I remember correctly, I think Naked Cowboy just did Did a
You're
stunt with that motherfucker's not real plain chick.
Ladies and gentlemen, if there's any older ladies out there that wants a special cameo, this man is on Cameo.
That's very true. By the way,
What?
did you think about trying to get on there yourself?
Done in what one?
On Cameo.
Who's going to want to come and get me to say happy birthday to somebody? Honestly, that's like asking.
Hey, you
that's
had
like asking a Satanist
to
go to a Bible bash or something like that. I mean,
actually, that's a lot of fun to watch if you do it right. But okay, motherfucker. Out of all the guests we've had that said they love your accent, but they can't understand a fucking thing you say, you're not going to try to capitalize on that? Are you mad?
This is for you, Elena. Hi, the new. I'll tell you this, the new.
It wasn't just Elena. I know you had a major crush on her.
Oh, don't.
No.
Elena is a very nice lady, but I know that you fancy her. It's okay, Dakota. You can tell everybody
it's the accent.
Yes, it's the accent. It's okay. The new there, Jimmy. Hey,
now that I've actually
let's end the live because we're not gonna die. Hey. I'm away
the live because I just added one of your.
I'm just saying
in front of your girlfriend.
It's absolutely fine. It's madness.
You know she has a sister.
Does she? Well, there you go. There's you set her there.
Actually, she looks just like her.
I've not seen Elena on for a couple of days. Actually, she done anybody?
I got a notification saying she was doing a video tonight as we were recording.
That's by some of their subscribers out there, but So, there you go.
Oh well.
Anyway,
ladies and gentlemen, need something to watch during the
holidays.
Will
see you again. You will see me on Cameo as Dakota chases me about with a big club trying to hit me.
Are you wanting to get on there or not?
Nah, why would I want to go? If you want to put me on there and I can do like special messages, these folk call it the Angry Scotsman or something like that.
You can make some good money off of that. Like I said.
How much have you made?
0.
But how am I going to make money off it if you're on there already?
You have the accent.
But I thought all the horny young ladies, older ladies would be wanting a Hans Thor's right hand man to be there, with your hair blowing in the
First off, Thorhan and I didn't work that close. I hadn't seen the man in almost 30 years.
Yeah, you'll see him again. Hopefully sooner than later,
Yeah. I still want to know if that was him. I saw kind of eyeballing me whenever we had Elena on, trying to figure out who the fuck I was.
Well.
No, a couple of times when we first met Elena, there would always be this visual in my mind of Amanda match Thorhan's description, kind of eyeballing me like, someone you see at the grocery store that you recognize, but you don't remember who the fuck it is.
So if you're watching this, Elena the new, and everybody in the UFO community are watching this right now, please go to Cameo and get something for Dakota. If you want, I can do the mad Scotsman. Hi, the new. I'll tell you this, the new.
Yeah, hey, I thought you would want to be hired by the same people that hire characters from GTA.
Did they?
Yes, some of the voice actors from GTA are on there too.
I want the new GTA to come out, but by the time that comes out, I'm probably 65.
Well, you also got to take into consideration Rockstar's anniversary is coming up, so it looks like they were holding off until that.
Yeah, well, I need to get myself a new Xbox anyway. I need to get myself an updated version. My Xbox there's 11 years old.
And we should probably finally sign off because we're starting to go way off the rails.
Rambling, have a fantastic week again. Rambling. What? I also do singing too. Wow. Don't worry about it, ladies and gentlemen. It's called madness. You get it when you turn 40.
No, that is called the Bald and Bonkers effect. And
yes,
this is why we do not offer free therapy for our subscribers.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care.
It's still alive! It's still alive! It's still alive!